Sup guys, Mr. Neo over here, and I was watching a David Arthur video. I don't like that guy too much, he's shilling a little bit too much for my taste, but he sometimes has interesting tech overviews and he's reviewing upcoming tech. He's going to cycling shows and filming new bikes. And I was watching a video where he was filming such new bikes for 2026, and I couldn't help myself but think, wow, all these bikes looks exactly the same. And there are a couple of reasons for it that I'm gonna go into. So now all new bikes, all new road bikes, gravel bikes, they need integrated cockpit, disc brakes, and some touches of aerodynamic, or they need to be from like a legacy material like steel or titanium. So what that leaves you with is a very limited platform, and also the components look very similar. You might not believe me, but just think about disc brakes. The rotor looks very similar on all the brands. The same with the disc brake caliper. Back in the day of rim brakes, there were so many color choices. The brakes actually looked different. They had some interesting look to them, and it gave it this. The bikes were different from one another. The next bit with the integrated cockpit, it cleans up the bike more. Yes, that's true, but there are only so many ways you can you can basically build the stem. So a lot of them end up looking almost too clean and kind of boring, which sounds counterintuitive, but it's true. When you list through these bikes, you will be like, wow, there is not much to look at, right? And some people really enjoy it that way, but for me, I need to have a little bit more chrome, a little bit more style, more like different, something that catches the eye. Another problem would be that a lot of the components are black now. They are just full black, and I find it really uninspiring compared to what we used to have 10 years ago. And the last point would be the aerodynamic craze of the last 5 years, and especially the last 3. If you are building a carbon road bike, it no longer is appealing to people that you are building a comfort bike. You need to sell them on the point that this is aerodynamic. So the frames all have super similar features. They have like rear stays that don't go all the way up. They have the head tube that it's shaped like in a teardrop or something. They had some aerodynamic down tube in a way, and it just really standardized it, and all these bikes just end up looking very similar to one another. What's kind of funny about is that one of the bikes that looks a little bit different is from one of the biggest brands, and that's the S-Works SL8, right? That bike at least looks a little bit different, even though it's from like the biggest globalist brand there is. But all the other brands, it's one and the same. And I would say go on Google and Google pictures from like 2014 and 15 and look how bikes used to look like. There was so much variety. There was so much to look at. All these beautiful shapes, because the brands were competing on trying to sell you something a little bit different, something that had some design language that was known for that brand. They had some shapes that they were keeping for many years, and one of the few brands that kept that identity would be Canyon, because their what's it called? I can't remember the road frame that Mathieu van der Poel uses. That looks very similar to the first generation that came out in like 2014. It still kept that design language that they used to have. But those are just few exceptions. Otherwise, it's just very standardized and unfortunately looks the same. I personally don't get very excited about it. And if there were no cycling journalists telling you what to think, I think that a lot of people would agree with me full-heartedly. So yeah, peace out guys, Mr. Nee.